And after months of uncertainty over the timeline of the Russian invasion, there is now finally some clarity over when the war may end. The head of Ukraine's military intelligence has said that the majority of the fighting should be over by the end of this year. The group has also said that the turning point of the conflict will be in the second part of August. And this report, of course, claims that Russian President Vladimir Putin is in a very bad psychological and even physical condition.
Переломний момент наступить в другій половині серпня. Більша частина активних дій, воєнних дій, завершиться до кінця цього року. Рух в цьому напряму вже розпочався, і його вже неможливо зупинити.
On the other hand, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov has said that it is pretty hard to predict for how long the war could, of course, go on. He's also said that the West had announced a hybrid type of war against Russia. Lavrov has further added that efforts made by the West to isolate Russia were doomed to fail.
Он объявил тотальную гибридную войну. И трудно прогнозировать, сколько все это продлится, но ясно, что последствия почувствуют все без исключения. Мы делали все, чтобы избежать прямого столкновения, но раз вызов брошен, мы его, конечно, принимаем. К санкциям нам не привыкать. В том или ином виде они были практически всегда.
Now, the Ukrainian military forces released footage showing destroyed Russian military vehicles. The video appears to show several burnt-out military vehicles and also a bridge broken into several parts. Britain's defense ministry has said that it seems that Russia lost armoured manoeuvre elements of at least about 1 battalion tactical group at the river. So let's take a look as to what's been happening on the ground. The invasion has caused immense damage and suffering to human life. In a bone-chilling video, Ukrainian soldiers were seen loading refrigerated train wagons with the bodies of dead Russian soldiers in Kiev. An agreement to transfer these bodies still remains unresolved.
Сотень тіл окупантів. Таких составів є декілька по території України. Зберігатися вони будуть тут до тих пір, поки не буде на міждержавному рівні прийнято рішення про передачу цих тіл. Українська сторона готова віддати їх вже завтра або навіть сьогодні. Проте звернень щодо отримання цих тіл російською стороною на даний час не було.
Meanwhile, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has said that talks are underway on evacuation of medics and also the wounded fighters from the Azovstal steel plant in Mariupol. He said that mediators are doing everything to ensure safe passage of those who are still inside the plant.
Ми припиняємо намагання врятувати з Маріуполя та Азовсталі усіх наших людей. Наразі продовжуються дуже складні перемовини про наступний етап евакуаційної місії, вивезення важкопоранених медиків. Йдеться про велику кількість людей. Звичайно, робимо все, щоб евакуювати і усіх інших, кожного нашого захисника і захисницю. Вже задіяли для відповідних переговорів усіх в світі, хто може бути найбільш впливовими посередниками.
And we also earlier spoke with Umit Nazmi, Hazir, a political scientist from Moscow. Listening to what he had to say.
The war will be lasting for a long time because, first of all, negotiations are not going well as we wish, and what's more, there is no reason to come to end in the war. And on the other hand, it is also early to say whether Russia or Ukraine has succeeded in the war yet, and that's why I think the war will be lasting for months. It is more than August, or maybe it could take more than a year, I guess. First of all, Russia must gain something in order to come to peace, because the war also very costs for Russia. And for another thing, in March, I was more hopeful because in March there were some negotiations, face-to-face negotiations. One of them was held in Istanbul, and both sides, after the negotiations, following the negotiations in Istanbul, both sides expressed some positive signals and messages. However, after April, it changed, and the situation has become more and more worse than the beginning of in the beginning of March. And the negotiations right now, face-to-face, are not held. It is one of the reasons, because in order to come to peace and in order to end the war, you must have negotiations. However, currently, the negotiations are not held. It is, I think, it is important reason.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.